So you're, like, for me, it's like, hey, you've already told us what bars is. But for me, it's like talking about your experiences is one of the greatest things you can do. Saying something that you have learned that is right about bars is basically for me like, hey, what if you added you into the equation? What if you did talk about bars access from your experience, not from something? This is bars. So everywhere we go into this place, we should be able to explain something. I mean, good luck explaining access. Good luck explaining foundation 1, and then level 2 and 3. I don't know, you're going home or you meet a family or friends. Oh, what did you do this weekend? What's that? What did you do? How is that? What did you get out a lot? What's the essence? What's the core of this class? Like, good luck. Yeah, you're like, happiness, yes. But it's really interesting because people love defining things. And we're doing the opposite. We're changing things so we don't define ourselves and limit ourselves. And that's freaking cool. And when people ask questions, well, it's really great to just talk wherever you are, not what you're supposed to and what is expected of you. It's really funny when we try to figure out the right answer of like telling people about things. If they're like, hey, I just love it, it changes my life, and hey, what else is possible? Yes.
You talked a little bit about, can you talk a little bit more about how you create a new class?
Yeah.
Like you did it with Faster Change Now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have done several bars classes now, and I feel encouragement more.
Cool.
And yes, and now I want to know what can I do next.
What would you like to do next?
Yeah, as in, I think it's something about money, but I don't know, title or something else.
Are you a bar facilitator? Are you access facilitator certified?
Not yet. No.
Not yet. Are you going to?
Yeah.
Cool.
But it takes a little bit of time.
Yes.
But faster change now.
Yes. So one of the two questions I really ask a lot is, what would be fun for me? Like, really? Because there's, like, in every area we go, we try to figure out what we, like, the box of this. This is what I'm supposed to do, and what can I do, and what's allowed, what's not allowed. And what if you start asking, what would be fun for you? What can I create here that would be amazing, that would be really fun, that I would love to get out of bed and just like, yes! Instead of like, what would be right to do here? So as a bar facilitator, and you have done level 2 and 3, you're allowed to do specialty evening classes under 4 hours and different topics. Like you could have an evening class about money, or like letting go of your lack of money, or why you hate money, I don't know, whatever area you want to write about, or do a class about.
Yeah, I would like to do an evening.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And also about choices.
Yes.
Yeah, choices is everything.
Cool. So when I started doing, after Bars Foundation 1, and I started looking at classes, both me and Jonas were together at that moment, so we were looking a lot together. One of the things that we always looked at, hey, what can we explore? What is fun that I would like to know more about? So when we looked at that, like, oh, let's talk about vulnerability. Oh, we know something there and we have no clue. There's just like this big universe that is like there. Wow, there's so much more information. And then we set up a date, a time, and all that, and invited people to come. And the people that came usually came with brilliant questions, or at least with a lot of awareness in that area. And just their energy created a space of awareness. We got so much out of it. So basically, we were creating classes so we could choose also to get more aware ourselves at the same time. Not that, oh, I know a lot about money and that's why I'm doing a money class. You can do that. There's no right or wrong way to create a class. But one of the things I've seen, if we're curious in knowing more, because there's always more. There's always more. There's always more. There's always more. I remember, because I changed a lot. When I started Access, I was at a really crappy position with money. I basically was surviving energy on it. And when I got to Access and got the tools, it was like I was obnoxious in using everything to change my money situation. And within 4 or 5 months, I did. it changed a lot. And then after maybe 6, 7, 8 months or a year, no, over a year, we were looking at, hey, let's do maybe something about money. And then we applied to have a weekend class, and we were so like, oh, I wonder if they say yes and access to do that. And we did a yes. We got a yes, and so we did our first money weekend class. And we thought it was all about like creating change financially and all that. And we had no clue that when we talked about money, we were changing people's lives. Because people have points of views about money in all their areas. Money with relationship, money with their kids, money with their job, with their free time. I was like, wow, we had no clue. It just changed dramatically. And I'm like, okay, wow, it's amazing if I don't conclude what people would get out of it, but there's something you're aware of and you create from that space. And you don't solidify your knowing. You just choose from where you are at this moment, and everybody there creates the class. I don't know if you guys have been to or seen one of Gary's Foundation once. He co-creates the class with the people in the class. So the new manuals you get are created with everybody in the class. I mean, that's basically what happens in every class. But Foundation 1 feels really interesting because me as a facilitator will facilitate that afterwards too. So it's really cool to be there, part of creating that class too. So if you ever have the possibility to go to one of those, it's really awesome.
What comes up now is that one part of me wants to have a manual how to do that.
So okay, I'll ask you guys, if you had a manual how to do your life successfully, how fun would it be? So exactly that energy. So we're usually not happy because Gary doesn't give us an answer how to do stuff. But if he did, you wouldn't be bored by that energy directly, and you would like, oh, dismissed it, let's do something else. That's why he never answers. One other way, there's a lot of other stuff why he doesn't answer, but like, what if, like, here's the thing, if you ask questions, you really go on an adventure. If I get bored, basically if I get bored, I could start to ask a lot of questions. Because one of the things that happens, it's changed really quickly, the energy, if I feel stuck, well, I usually never feel stuck, but I can feel a little bit bored. I can work 24/7, but if I don't create new stuff, it's just maintenance basically, even if it's not. So it's more like my energy just needs new stuff, so I don't know how to figure out everything. Then I'm like, ooh, then I have to ask questions because I don't know. I don't cognitively know exactly what to do. So what if we were willing to ask questions all the time when you don't like something, or you're bored, or you're in doubt, or whatever you are, and you would ask questions just to explore something new.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. I create a lot of workshops. I have an idea and I create a lot of workshops.
Yes.
And I get, like you said, bored very quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of, I like workshops without structure, without formula and significant. But I am not very patient.
Patient?
Patient, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to change yesterday, not today.
When you're facilitating?
In everything. In everything, yeah.
So for me it's different because I'm not patient with myself.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm working on it. But I'm more patient with everybody else.
Okay, that's with me the same.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So what's your question?
How can I make faster change and not stopping myself with, because I kind of get the excuse that I have to be patient, I have to, I'm kind of judging myself about it because
Yes.
I want it too fast.
Yeah.
And
So what does faster mean?
I like...
Feels like we're in first grade, huh? I love this. Sorry. My brain goes bananas everywhere. Yes.
It's like when I create workshops and just kind of think,
Yeah.
kind of asking questions, what it will be about, And if I get too many questions, then it gets kind of, I process it in my mind and stop myself.
So what does our mind do? Yes. So when you ask questions and your mind starts working, you're basically trying to figure out